and welcome to Orion Outreach. I'm Jessie Agnew here with Bill Schramm of Homes for Autism. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm alive and well.
All right, good.
What can I do for you?
Well, I have a few questions for you. Now, you have a background in chemistry and molecular biology.
Yes.
You used to be a patent attorney, so very impressive to have you here today. But what we're really interested is what you've done with your work for Homes for Autism. Now, you're the president of Homes for Autism.
That's correct. Home for Autism started in the mid-90s, about 1994, and I got involved a year or two after that. We have 5 homes that are in southeast Michigan, and the first home we put up was in Redford, and I got involved before that home was put up, and was involved in the renovation of the home to make it useful for somebody who has autism.
Now, what got you involved?
I have a son who is 46.
Okay.
And the issues that brought me into Home for Autism is the same as the ones that I was facing. Many of the families that we were involved in had adults, children who had autism. Both the adults and the children were growing older. And when your child is 25 or 30 years old, and they have autism and you can't handle them anymore, you start thinking about what can you do, where can they go, where can they live. And so the key thing that we were interested in at the time was to put the quote-unquote children, who are now adults, into homes. We had received some advice from a fellow by the name of Jim Demon, who is head of Wayne County Community Living Services, and his suggestion was to select a home, a regular home in an ordinary place, borrow money, half 60% down, and the rest of it, half of 60% that you borrow, and the rest of it you pay cash. And the individuals, all of whom are considered permanently disabled by Social Security, they receive some compensation from Social Security. A portion of that is used to rent the homes. So as I say, we have 5 homes in southeast Michigan, and from that initial home, it's been a few years that we keep adding homes periodically.
Now, your organization refers to autism as the hidden epidemic. Can you explain that a little bit to me?
Yes. Today, when you talk to people, you will probably find very few people who don't have autism connected somewhere in their friends or in their family. When we first got involved in it, and my son, we knew had an issue. And going through the Lake Orion schools, having him be treated or even considered satisfactory to going through school raised a real problem. And so they hadn't really heard about it. Most of the schools hadn't heard about it. Today, the statistics are that you're going to have approximately 2% of all boys born today have an autism issue.
Wow. I
mean, that doesn't mean that they are all permanently disabled as the ones that live in our homes, but along the line, they will have an autism issue and needs to be addressed and addressed early.
Now, what is it like for these people to have autism and for their families?
Well, it's extraordinarily difficult on the families.
Right.
Some of the adults who live in our homes, as one fellow said, indicated to you before, he is legally blind and has autism, but he likes to sing. So we have a fundraiser where we have an Irish night, and he used to like to come and would sing the Irish songs. However, we have in another home, the first one we had in Red, for example, they had to have 2 people that were there for 24/7 care. He was an active person, let's put it that way. But within 6 months, because of being able to live in the home, living calmly, getting used to the home, we were informed that they only now had to have 1 individual as a caregiver. That individual needed clear supervision and a lot of attention. So there's a wide range of autism as it affects different people.
Right.
And that corresponding is reflected in the people we have in our homes.
So what building the homes kind of does is it emancipates the families and the caregivers from direct responsibility.
Well,
and
I wouldn't say emancipates.
Not quite emancipates,
no, not quite.
but
Emancipation is too strong a word, because the families, believe me, stay actively involved.
right.
But if the youngster, now adult, for example, is a night owl and stays up all night and sleeps during the day, it's very difficult for you to work.
Right.
All right. If they're active, by that I mean they have movements. That's something that you can't, as you get older, you can't care for them, and so you need to have somebody take care of them. But once they move into the home, and as is the case in each of the homes that we have, the families are actively involved. They still participate in the social activities with respect to the individuals that live in a home. So this, believe me, it's not emancipation,
Right.
but it allows the adults to be able to have some sleep on an ordinary basis, allows them to do other things, allows them to work, and that they could not do as the adults, as the kids become adults.
Now, you mentioned you have a son with autism, and he lives in his own home, right?
Today he lives in his own condo in White Lake. Bill can drive a car and has lots of things that he can do, but nonetheless he still has challenges.
How does that impact having the home? How does that impact his quality of life to be able to live outside of the family?
Well, the quality of life for us or the quality of life for him?
Both.
Well, the quality of life for us, going back to my example, because my son was the night owl, all right, and that was a real live example. But Bill had been able to work sometimes on a part-time basis. And so when he is living on a house, he can drive a car, but as I say, he works on a part-time basis. So for him, there is some reward from that perspective. But he still has some of the issues that pertain to autism, and they show up periodically. For us, it allowed me, frankly, to be able to continue to work on a full-time basis. And it was very challenging. Generally with adults, there's a divorce issue that shows up. Frequently the child puts a knife between the parents, and so they get divorced. They can't handle it. Those parents that do are strongly bonded together to help with the child. I know a couple of families that do that, but more often than not, you just drive a knife between the parents.
So you feel that having these homes for adults with autism to live in separately kind of gives families the energy and almost the space they may need to more adequately help the adult? For
the limited number of people that we have only the 5 homes, and we have a number of people that live in the homes. It gives enormous life to the parents again. But I think that we're just the tip of the iceberg. There's only 5 homes. But when you have such a huge number of people who have the issue with respect to autism, the housing issue is a huge problem. Many of the people who have autism, as they get older, stay in the home. They don't have the ability to find a home for autism or some other organization like ours. There are several others around southeast Michigan, but there are really not that many.
Right.
So it's a real challenge to find the housing for the young adults. That's why we have good fundraisers, and that's why we hope to go forward.
Right. One of the things that I think is really great about your organization is in kind of a country and a culture that could use a little bit more of ethos and caring towards causes that people don't know as much about, kind of like the hidden epidemic of autism. You guys are taking a step forward in kind of leading the way and providing that help that may be needed.
We not only provide the homes,
right.
but I have had luncheons with people, and they I go through you buy the house, you can have 1 or 2 people live in the house, et cetera, et cetera. Well, and they say, well, why do we need you? And I said, well, I'm not trying to promote it. I just want to let you know that there is a way that you can have a home is separate from your own. But some people, and a lot of people, cannot afford it. The people who live in our homes, for example, cannot afford that sort of thing. I've been very fortunate to be able to afford the condo for Bill, and some other people can do it, but many times they can't. And that's why we're trying to have our fundraisers to get the money for people to contribute to take care of our homes. They're old homes. Old homes always need to be taken care of. And we'd like to get additional homes. As a matter of fact, next year we're hoping to, in conjunction with Habitat, Habitat of Oakland County, and Christ Redeemer, the church here in Orion Township, to build another home. We already have an individual selected who can move into the home. Christ Redeemer has had 18 years of fundraisers for Habitat, and so they build homes and they renovate homes. And so I'm a member of the parish, and they've been very active in this, and they've been informed that they're going to help us next year again with Habitat.
Now, what is your staff made up of in the organization? Is it mostly volunteers? Do you have a staff?
We have one person.
One person.
we have one person. We have no offices. We are very lean from that perspective. And we have a board of about 12 to 15 people of varying ages. And we have several people, matter of fact, on board who are very good with their hands. And so, as I say, the whole old homes need renovation. I was out of the Ypsilanti home a month or so back. Well, the young guys got a team together and went out, repainted the house, did a bunch of electrical work and other repair work. And so you try to have the young people at heart who can get out and spend the time and effort doing it, because there's a lot involved in doing it. And so you do need people who are interested in your organization, and you will be surprised how many people have an autism relative or a friend who has a child that has autism. It's continuously showing up much more today because you hear much more about it today.
Now, what areas do you need volunteers more, or donations or help? What are the greater challenges that
our current plan is to build in North Oakland County, and our current plan is to build, if not every year, every other year in North Oakland County. And so we're hoping to get together with the various fundraisers that we have to get enough money. We have normally 3 fundraisers a year. We have a walk at the zoo, which is the Saturday after Labor Day. We have an Irish night, which is at a local pub in Rochester. And on November 16th coming up, we have our annual Ring of Hope dinner.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that event?
Okay. We had, because we've been doing this is our 17th year of the Ring of Hope dinner. We have had a wide variety of people who have been nominated or to receive what is called the Ring of Hope Award. And basically we were looking for people who have made a contribution to society. Last year we had Lieutenant Governor Brian Calley, who has a daughter who has autism. He and his wife were honored. Several years back we had Dave Mador and his wife. They have a daughter who has autism. We had a fellow who was a vice president of General Motors, a fellow by the name of Leneve, and he had children who had autism. We had a wide variety of other people over the 17-year period of time. We have on November 16th a gentleman by the name of Jim Berline. Jim is on the Autism Alliance. Autism Alliance is a statewide organization that's set up to really lay the groundwork for the autism and the autism development in the state of Michigan. And it's being funded by the state of Michigan to lay out the groundwork for adequately serving the autism community.
Well, what kind of activities can people expect at this event?
This is a regular dinner and dance.
Okay, dinner and dance, all right.
Oh yes, and a silent auction. It is at the Village Club, which is on Long Lake Road, just east of Woodward Avenue.
And what day is it again? November 16th?
November 16th.
November
Starts
16th.
at 6 o'clock at the Village Club. You can look us up on our website, which is homesforautism.org.
All right. Well, that wraps it up for here today at Orion Outreach. Again, I am Jessie Agner here with Bill Schramm. Thank you for watching.